In the aftermath of China's Cultural Revolution, a new wave of filmmakers emerged who sought to redefine the boundaries of cinema, storytelling, and national identity. Known as the Fifth Generation, these directors brought bold aesthetics and critical perspective to a film industry previously dominated by strict orthodoxy and socialist realism. Among them, Zhang Yimou has distinguished himself through his striking visual style and thematic engagement with power, tradition, and resistance. Zhang began his career as a cinematographer, but from the moment he stepped into the director's chair in 1987 with Rick Sorghum, his visual voice became unmistakable. Over the decades, he has directed more than 30 films, each marked by a strong sense of composition, color, and narrative control. While his storytelling often centers on individuals, his work constantly reflects the larger structures, social, historical, and political, that define their world. In this video, we will explore 3 of Zhang Yimou's early landmark films, such as The Rick Sorghum, To Live, and The Race the Lyric Lantern, to examine how his cinema articulates power through ritual, through silence, and through the aesthetics of resistance.
Red Sorghum, Zhang's directorial debut, is both a personal and cultural milestone. Set in rural Shandong during the 1930s, the film follows a young woman named Jiu as she navigates an arranged marriage, family duty, and collective struggle. The setting, white films of high sorghum and earth-toned landscapes, is rendered in rich, saturated colors that reflect both vitality and resistance. Visually, red sorghum is bold. A crimson sedan chair cuts through the dusty yellow road, when jets glisten in the sun. The movement of people and camera creates a sense of energy, even celebration. But beneath this celebration is critique of tradition, of imposed systems. Signs such as the invention of the red sedan chair during the wedding procession survive as powerful critiques of customers, while the margin of blood and while amid wartime violence transforms individual sacrifice into communal defiance. The visual symbolism of red is redefined here to evoke desire, conflict, and survival. Zhang uses the look of old traditions to question those same traditions. He uses big, colorful signs and wide shots of sunlight to show both real life and deeper meaning. In his movie, tradition can feel both free and heavy. This is not just a story about love or war. It's a story about strong spirit, hard times, and staying alive. By contrast, To Alive adopts a more subdued formal style, spanning several decades of modern Chinese history. It follows the decline of a once privileged family navigating war, revolution, and reform. Zhang Yimou does not talk about politics directly. Instead, he shows real people and their quiet, everyday lives. The camera work is simple and calm. The colors are mostly gray, soft, and not bright. The feelings into life come from slow and quiet sadness. The camera watches what happens without trying to make it more dramatic. There are many long, still shots. The scenes are simple and not busy. The slow speed of the movies show how people slowly lose control of their lives because of big problems in the world around them. Unlike the loud and bold style of Red Sorghum, this film shows that staying alive is not something brave. It's just what people do to keep going. The story makes us think about history and who is responsible. But it doesn't blame anyone or give us clear answers. The sad parts don't come from big things happening fast, but from pain that builds up slowly. Zhang uses a calm and careful way to tell the story. Big events like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution happen in the background, but Zhang shows us everyday life instead. Life becomes a series of small choices and quiet losses. A puppet show turns to ashes. A son dies silently in a hospital. A wife leaves the world under a dark blanket. Yet through all this, the family endures. There is no resistance, only perseverance. The power structures are too large, too distant, yet their effects are devastating.
On the other hand, Raise the Red Lantern in 1991 represents yet another stylistic transformation. Set in a 1920s feudal compound, the film explores the internal dynamics of a patricial household through the experiences of Songlian, the fourth wife of a wealthy man. Here, Zhang constructs a world with symmetric ritual and surveillance. Power is expressed not through violence, but through routine, whose lantern is lit, whose meal is surfaced, whose voice is heard. While the titular red lanterns draw the eye, it is the white surfaces, bed sheets, snow, walls that define the film's atmosphere. The aesthetic here is rigorous. Every frame is composed like a painting. Every sound from footsteps to whisper commands functions as a signal of the authority. Red, the dominant color of ritual and attention, gradually give way to white, signaling emotional withdrawal, erasure, and silence. Songlian's psychological distance is not expressed through overt breakdown, but through subtle changes in posture, gaze, and rhythm. The elegance of the frame, the clarity of the light, and spatial order conceal a system of control that internalize submission. As Songlian descends into madness, dressed in white and drifting through the courtyard, her transformation becomes a symbol of total absorption into the patricial structures. The film's use of stillness, geometry, and ritual repetition formalize the aesthetic of entrapment.
In conclusion, across these three films, Zhang Yimou presents power as a layered and insidious force shaping the individual, the family, and the state. His unique way of marking villains with a careful conversation, bright colors, slow pacing, and the use of a slide turns everyday life into a place where people can stay up for what they are believe in. But Zhang does not challenge power directly. Instead, he used beauty as a political language by including criticism in his art. These early works are not simple and encourage viewers to improve the systems of control for within. So they are still very important texts for how we think about resistance and for the discussion about violence around the world.